commercial or no?
Alchemy 24/7 empowers you. Ideas on beyond. Food Alchemy Network takes you into life's journey. Coffee with Ori on Monday, 8 p.m. Standard Time, 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Angelic Whispers with Dr. 5 p.m. Pacific Time and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We are at the Food Alchemy Network. Food Alchemy Network.
1, 2, 3.
Get a grip, you know.
One, two, three.
You're live.
Okay. Well, happy Monday and welcome to Coffee with Ori. I am your host, Ori. I hope everyone has had a pleasant weekend. You know, as you can see, the month is almost out and a new month is coming. So for all you Leos, it is going to be a very prosperous month. So hang on to your bootstraps and get ready for the stars and the moons and the shifts that are going to be happening in August. Today's subject, I'm going to finish what we were talking about last week, which was about manifestation, because in doing so, I realized that there are certain precepts that we really need to understand about manifesting things and keeping in line, keeping within the parallel line of this universe and the parallel universe, so that everything can move in conjunction with each other. Now, one of the biggest things that we need to really understand has a lot to do with how we treat ourselves. And I said that before, but within that, it's not just treating yourself well. It's also about treating humanity well, okay? Envy, the universe has no time or no place for envy, because we are all gods within ourselves and we don't need to envy anyone. We can enjoy and we can give accolades to people that are moving forward and are receiving challenging things and improving their well-being, and things are happening to them. You know, you can be grateful for them and you can be happy for them and you can admire them, because admiration is not jealousy and admiration is not envy. Although There are a lot of educated, closed-minded people that believe that if you are talking to someone and you admire them, automatically you're jealous of them. So that just shows you in abundance of how their mind is, okay, and where and at what level they are in. So instead of the education putting you at a level 10, you can be educationally placed at a 10, but spiritually you're a 2, because it speaks volumes of the way you think, not just about life, but about things that surround you. Manifestation is a very important thing because a lot of people have problems manifesting, and a lot of people don't quite understand when, what, where, and how. Sometimes we sit and we wait patiently for manifestations, and we stop doing what we're supposed to do because we're waiting for the manifestation to manifest. It's almost like if you put money, if you are expecting money, if you don't show the universe that you're capable of saving money, the universe is not going to provide you money. If you're showing the universe that you are not capable, or you don't want to go out and look for work, then the universe is not going to provide it for you. The universe can provide you the money that you want in many forms. It can provide it in the form of a job. It can provide it in the form of a gift. It can provide it in the form of a lottery. It can any way that the universe provides it, it's the way that it is presented to the universe. So think about that for a minute, okay? If you're an ambitious person, and I don't mean ambitious, greedy, because greed is another no for the universe. What happens with people who are greedy? After you get everything you want, there's really nothing left except power, which is what a lot of people are looking for now, which is power. So therefore, people are fighting to become part of the 1% to gain power. But power over what? We were born with power. We were born with insight. Some of us, like Ron, the angel whisperer, he got his abilities. I'm assuming he's always been spiritual, but he got into an accident, almost killed him, and he had a near-death experience, and angels started to talk to him, and that's a wonderful thing. I was born with sight, so I was born with the ability to see things as a child, and trust me, it was not a redeeming quality. It was horrible, but it has taken me 55 years to actually learn that there is no place in the universe for greed. There is no place in the universe for envy. There is no place in the universe for vanity. No place in the universe for ignorance. No place in the universe for for not wanting to better humanity, and not wanting to better yourself, because these are very intricate qualities that we need to attach ourselves to, and not relearn them because they're in us. We know them. Manifestation comes from within a belief, a concrete belief within ourselves that there is nothing that we desire, or nothing that we want that we can't achieve. We can achieve anything. We can achieve anything that we want. we have the ability to bring forth anything that we want and that we believe that we deserve, because there's nothing on this planet that it's not that's tangible that we cannot have. But knowledge is power. If you know yourself, then you have to sit down and you have to analyze what your wants and needs are. Okay, and basically learn to differentiate between your wants and between your needs. And also, you have to be able to understand that you have to be willing to be able to live your best life without looking backwards on pain and sorrow and hypocrisy and jealousy and all the things that you might have gone through, because that part of you does not exist. So past is just that. It's the past. It has nothing to do with what's going on right now at this particular moment. The universe is the universe is in front of us, and it is in our backs, and it is above us, and it is below us. We're floating in a dimension, and it's up to us to be able to capture not just the attention of the higher beings, but also the attention of the universe. How? By putting out good vibes, by doing the work, because it's a lot of work. You know, there are people who do work and they heal themselves, and they want to look towards people, or they want to look towards people as if they are perfect. There's no such thing as perfect people. You know, we're human. We have flaws. We can try the art of consciousness to be able to be conscious of what we're saying and what we're doing at every second, so that we don't repeat past offenses or past negative vibrations. We have to also make sure and be mindful that whenever the past comes into the present, that we are able to push it aside, and in our mind, intellectually, tell our mind and program our minds not to go to the past. Even though there are triggers that may take us there, we have to be strong enough to understand something triggered me to think this way, so I'm going to move forward rather than to move backwards. So it's very interesting on how the law of attraction works, because a lot of people have the tendency of saying, like, and I think I repeated this last week, which was, you know, people are like, oh, well, when I have this amount of money, I'm going to help this one, I'm going to help that one. You cannot spend money you don't have. You cannot. So as long as you know that you cannot spend money that you don't have, don't put the intention out there. You may want to help someone that you love, and the end result might be the universe might give them what you're waiting for and not to you. So think about it, because remember, and I always say this, to speak is to create. Every time you speak it, you create it. One of my biggest pet peeves are people who are unable to sit with you and tell you how they feel about certain things at the moment that it is happening. That's one of my biggest pet peeves, because if I have a problem with someone, I like to deal with it right then and there. I don't believe in waiting. If something happens, I want to address it right there and then, because when you want to address it later, it kind of like, it doesn't piss me off. It shows me that that people need to grow, because I know that I'm grown enough to face realities. So that is has always been one of my biggest pet peeves. But again, it's my pet peeve. It has nothing to do with other people, and that's something that it's something that I have had to learn to understand, that not everybody walks at my level and not everybody's going to be at my level. At this particular moment, it seems as if the universe is clearing up things for me. And yes, things are happening to me emotionally, mentally, and physically. And it is all connected to the universe, all of it. So sometimes I seem a little strange and sometimes I don't, but I know what I'm going through. I can explain things to people of what's happening to me, but in my reality, I don't believe that everyone can comprehend what I'm going through. I think only a handful of people that actually know me know that every time I go through a burp in my life, it's because I'm about to move forward even higher, and I'm already there. But I seem to be climbing higher, and the higher I climb, it just seems that the things that are coming to me, that are things that I've wanted, are starting to manifest now faster. And it kind of, like, I'm not gonna lie, doesn't not make me happy. It kind of scares me in a way, because, you know, when you want something for such a long time and it starts to manifest, it's not that you don't believe that it was going to manifest. You just believe that it will come, but it will come in small dosages. You don't believe that it's going to hit you at one time. And when it does, it's kind of like a mind screw up. It messes with your mind. There are a lot of things and a lot of ways to open up doors. And one of them is to know where you are at all times, to understand that we have to be in the world, but not of it. Meaning, if you don't get high, why would you socialize with people that do? If you're not an alcoholic, why would you spend time in bars? Because people that you know are always drinking. We are under this misconception that we have, I like to have friends, and I want to have friends, and I want to have friends, and I want to have friends. Well, in life, if you can when it is your time to cross over, and you can say that you have one friend or have had one good friend, you have had more than most. There are people in the world that have never loved, have never known love, have never had a true friend, never had a ride and die friend. And what they do is they push away other people. There are people that are fair weather friends, that when they get involved in a relationship, they kind of like, their relationship becomes their whole world, and they push people out of their way. I've never been one of those cookies. I've never been one of those people who have pushed my friends or family because of my partners. I've never been that way. I could never be that way. And that is why I live alone. And that is why a lot of people have issues. People that they have issues with the fact that I don't make them a priority. And it's not because they shouldn't be a priority. They should be a priority to themselves. I am a priority to me. So they should be a priority to themselves. And it's something that I had to learn. So guys, I'm telling you about my personal experiences, but I'm not really telling you about my personal experiences. I only tell you what I want you to know about me. I'm explaining to you about characters and how these character flaws can cause problems in your life. You're not indebted to anyone. You're not even indebted to your parents. These are choices that we make to take care of our parents, because it is the right thing to do. But we're not indebted to them. We don't owe them anything. And again, that is part of the universal law. Our parents love us with some parents love their children super unconditionally. And those parents, they reap what they sow. They plant seeds of love and they sow, or let's say they reap everything that they sow. I mean, they show love. They're compassionate. They're loving. They're understanding. They try to be there. But then you have parents, like I always said, not everybody's meant to be a mother, and not everybody can be. That's why they say, mommy's babies, daddy's maybes. You don't. Fathers. A lot of people in the world have been married and have left their wives to try to go to the other side and think that the grass is always greener, only to then regret. And that's the energy they put out there. So when their children grow up and their children are only going to repeat exactly what it is that they saw and they learned. And that learned behavior is also very toxic to the universe. So we have to learn to break those chains of pain and sorrow and regret. The pain that most minorities are brought up with, are brought up believing that we need to be satisfied with what we have. That we have to accept whatever we have as God's will and just be happy. Okay. One of the things that a lot of us are not understanding is that everything repeats itself over and over and over. What we're going through now, it's not the first time that it's happened, and it will not be the last time. We are recycled, just like this planet is recycled. So therefore, if we continuously keep coming back to repeat the same things until we make things right, when is it ever going to be right? I'm doing the work now so that I don't have to repeat this again. But at the same time, some of the most strangest things are happening because they're taking me back to past lives, and it's not to correct anything that I've done. It's actually just showing me what they never showed me before. So it can be kind of like a video game that can make you want to stay up all night because you can't believe what you're seeing. Now, the universe has a price for everyone. And that's the one thing you have to understand. The universe doesn't give up on you. You give up on yourself. By giving up on yourself, you give up on the universal pull. So, key factors. Respect thyself, honor thyself, believe in thyself, and always listen carefully before you open your mouth. Digest things, whether they are good or bad, whether they're good, bad, or indifferent, digest them. Don't regurgitate them. Digest them. Learn from them. Ask yourself, what is the lesson that I have learned? Because part of the universal pull is showing the universe that you live in gratitude. Because a lot of people talk about, the law of attraction. I'm going to attract this, I'm going to attract it. But when you live just to live and you don't live in gratitude, nothing great can come out of that. Nothing conducive can come out of that. Nothing that's proactive can come out of that. So we have to always keep our pilot lights on so that we are aware every time we're going to say something. We are aware if it's going to sting or not, if it's going to sting someone. But there is a difference between speaking and saying what you feel and intentionally hurting people, because there are people in this planet, and I'm sure in past lives, in present life, and in future life, and in different dimensions, that are just mean-spirited. God's spirit, angels, guides, our ancestors, and the universe as a whole does not have time for mean-spirited people. Mean-spirited people never succeed in what they want. They will succeed in business. So what's the sense of having money if you're miserable and you're trying to push your misery on other people? It's not good. It doesn't help you pull. Always state the facts and tell the truth about how you're feeling, what is going on, what's happening, because it is important when you show people who you are. Like Maya Angelou said, when people show you or tell you who they are when you first meet them, believe them. So you want to always approach people with mercy and kindness and understanding and love. And even if they try to screw you over, always understand this. We came from ashes and we will go from ashes. So what do we really lose? Absolutely nothing. If we hold on to emotions and we don't let them go, it just makes us equally unstable as they are. So instead of the universe providing, the universe is going to do the opposite. You have to believe that you are the best in what you believe and the best in what you do. And people who are in business, like myself and other people, I believe that I'm not a salesperson. I'm not one of those people that do this or that. I am a person I'm a spiritualist. I am a writer. I am a life coach. I love to make products. I love to sell things that I enjoy, and that's why I'm good at it. Unfortunately, that is not the case for many people. Many people throw themselves in a job and they say, well, it's a job and I'm going to do any job. But what's the sense of doing any job if you're going to be unhappy? The law of attraction doesn't work if you're unhappy. The law of attraction works if you are able to understand and focus on the sensibility that, okay, I have this job right now, and this job may be conducive for me at this particular moment, but I know that I'm going to work my ass off to make sure that this job is not my career. It is what I need to provide for me at this particular moment. And again, to speak is to create. When you create and you speak smack about your job, how I hate my job and I hate these people, and you get fired, why do you cry? Why are you getting upset? You put it out there. You hated your job. You hated the people you socialize with. You hate getting up to go to this job. It's not paying you enough, but yet it was helping you pay your bills. Sometimes we go over our means and then we don't take ownership. And that's a big quality that a big quality of life that we need to learn within ourselves. Guys, it's 9:30. Let's go to commercial. and then we will begin again. Are we going to commercial? I guess not. So anyway, it's something that I've seen, it is something that I lived, and it is something that I can
Food Alchemy Network. Food Alchemy Network. On Mondays, Thursday, and Friday. Food Alchemy. Coffee or every Monday. No talk is taboo. 561-810. Go too fast. Coffee with Ori. Book a session to find him on Food Alchemy Network.
1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2.
Angelic Whispers, Dr. Ron Bates, every Thursday, 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Book an appointment with him, Angelic Whispers in Pittsburgh, Florida, today. 727-526-8768. Dr. D, metaphysician by feedback, ionic, detoxing foot bath, Reiki, prana, Muna, personal steams, and alignment with self. Dr. D, quantum biofeedback, Reiki, crystal work, and color therapy. 885-00342.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back. Okay. Like I was saying earlier, being mindful is something that we need to learn because of so many things that are going on in the world right now, so many things that are going on in this planet that we live in. And I read every day. There's not one day that I don't get on my phone and I don't see that 1 or 2 people have gotten killed here in West Palm Beach. And it should scare me, but it doesn't scare me because murder and destruction has always been the balance of good and bad on this planet. And as human beings, people don't know any better. And people think that other people's backyards are better than theirs. And you don't really know what those people went through to get to that place. And that is part of jealousy and envy. Now, I am going to explain to you how manifestation is done. If you are not in tune with your spirit guides, or you know, anything that stimulates you spiritually, whether it be church or whatever, if you don't have that balance within you, you're always going to, your mind is never going to be focused on you. It's going to be like me, it's focused somewhere else. So you have to make sure that you're always aligned with your mind, body, and soul, and the spirit. You have to make sure that your spirit is in tune with your mind, and your mind is in tune with your heart. And I know that it may sound complicated, but it really is not complicated, because if you spend more time working on yourself and meditating and doing much more, and less time watching TV, you would have no problems. You will be okay. You have to understand that everything nowadays is mechanical, and it is electronic, and there's a lot of interference. So we have to make sure that we are putting out the right message into the universe, because what we call the universe might be a parallel world. It might be the parallel world, one of many, and that is where it's going. The vibrations are going there, and it may be us in the near future, or the vibration is going to the near future, and it is bounced back into this time frame. However it is, whatever it is, and however it works, I know that the mind, the body, and the soul have to be united as one. I also know that you have to be focused on what you want and never lose focus on what you want. If you feel that you're going to have people around you that are going to laugh at you or make fun of you because you have a certain belief of what you're going to do, then my suggestion is stay away from people who have short-minded dreams. There are people who will settle. I win $5,000 and they settle for $5,000. Maybe it's just me, but I want more. I'm not going to say, oh, well, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. No. God, spirit, angels, guides of the universe, they know what I can do, and they know what I would do, because they know my heart and they know my mind. But I'm not going to say I'm going to do this with money that I don't have. So I'm not going to plan to better someone else's life, when in reality, my life is better, but I want it to be even greater than what it is. So I can't emphasize more to remove jealousy out of your heart, remove hypocrisy from your heart, remove vanity from your heart. I don't find vanity when people say, oh, well, I just think that I'm so beautiful, and people buy themselves great things, and they keep buying things, and they go to the expensive restaurants, and they do all this stuff. I don't believe that is, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think that if you want the universe to provide, you're going to have to show the universe that you are able to live that lifestyle. I like to eat well, and I know that Dr. D likes to eat well, and I'm sure Ron likes to eat well, and I'm sure many people like to eat well. But the one thing that I don't do, and the one thing that Dr. D doesn't do, and the one thing that maybe Ron doesn't do, is we don't penny pinch on ourselves. If we want something, we buy it. If we have the money on hand, we spend it. Because if not us, then who? And if not now, then when? So we have to make sure that we don't live in the fear that if we want to have a lobster dinner and it's $40, that we spend $40 and then tomorrow we're broke, and oh my God, and how am I gonna live the next day? If you believe that the universe will not provide, then why did you spend the money? If you live in fear and you don't walk by faith, you're only walking by sight, then you will never be able to make a stand anywhere and say, enough is enough of this. I am proclaiming that I want this and that this is owed to me and this is coming to me. But you have to put in the work, and you have to be able to remove those fears from your heart, from your mind, from your spirit, and from your surroundings. You know, sometimes you have to shake a tree and get rid of all the fruit on it, and take the fruit and eat them, or pass them around, take the seed and dry them and replant them, so that the next time that the fruit bears trees, it will be healthier and it will be stronger and it will be more fortifying for you. There's nothing wrong with not wanting to touch that because you're waiting for something bigger. There's nothing wrong with that. So people have this misconception because this is the way we were raised. This is the way we were taught, which is, you know, God, you have to fear God. You have to fear everything and anything that they don't understand. It's not of God. So me talking to you about manifestation, they may say, well, that's the devil's work, but it's not. Why would we not? Why would God, who is the creator of heaven and earth, who is the Almighty, who is the Alpha and the Omega, why would he not want us to prosper? That's an old wives' tale. That's man's religion. You know, man was programmed to either create happiness or create destruction. There really is no in between. There is, you know, there's either happiness or there's misery. Unfortunately, we're surrounded by a lot of people who like to cause misery because they're miserable. And again, hurt people hurt people. Now, these are also some very interesting factors that you have to remove and displace yourself from. You have to learn to distinguish between people that are your friends and people that are not your friends. People that want the best for you and people that do not want the best for you. I am Hispanic, and I actually have a mixture of many cultures in me. But just because I'm Spanish doesn't mean that I'm going to go by somebody who's Spanish just because they're Spanish and they're going to, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go by what's in my mind and how I feel. I would never digress myself ever again by entertaining gossip or entertaining people's nonsense, because that's also goes against the law of attraction. So when you are gossiping about everyone, does that make you a better person because you're doing it? Or does that make you, I don't know, a destructive person? Well, gossip can destroy. Gossip has destroyed many things. But in reality, why do you do it? Why do you do it? And if you say you don't know, well, it's the same thing that I said from the beginning. It's about envy. Gossip is usually created because of envy. And unfortunately, what people don't know, people will invent. And people will throw you into the fire and throw you under the bus if they know that by throwing you under the bus, they're going to succeed and not you. So it's always better to keep your mouth shut and work on yourself. And if you're going to talk about it, make sure you talk about it with somebody who's on your level or somebody who is moving forward as well. And I'm not saying being on your level as a critique, like I am better than people. I say it all the time. I don't ever think that I'm better than everyone, but I do believe that I'm better than most. Why? Because I don't ask anyone for anything. I don't expect anything from anyone. I don't believe that I am entitled to anything. You know, good-hearted people, and I'm not going to say good people because I hate that whole scenario when people say, "Well, I'm a good person. I'm a good person." Well, if you're such a good person, why do you need to repeat it? You know. So, purpose, Sadia, yes, and hi. Purpose is important, but there are a lot of people that have none. You know, in our parents' generation, a lot of parents spend their lives working, saving to put their children to college, to make sure that their children have the best of everything. So then their children can grow up and give them the finger and take the money and do whatever they want with it because they didn't, and they spend it foolishly because they didn't have to work for it. So appreciation of thyself is very important. Everyone should everyone who have children should teach their children the responsibility of saving, the responsibility of learning how to put things aside, how to be careful, how to respect, how to be noble, how to be kind to others, but also teach them both sides. Listen, stop and listen before you open your mouth. Listen to the conversation, listen to people, observe them. If you feel that their actions are not to your liking and they're not like you, then you need to walk away. That's why there are reasons for seasons, which I've also talked about that in the past. I need you to understand that life, like I was saying earlier, life comes full circle. Life will always be, the wheel will always keep turning. And it's written in scriptures. The wheel will always keep turning. The one thing that we need to do, and the one thing that we have to keep our mind focused on, like I said, was we need to always know when we need to make a stand and say enough is enough. I'm tired of this, I'm tired of that, and just move forward. Speak your truth, but state the facts before you speak your truth. And your truth needs to be truthful. Because I know I have been a victim of people taking out their BS on me when someone else does things to them. And I'm just standing there shaking my head saying, wow, this speaks volumes. I try not to take out my anger on people that have not harmed me. I actually try not to even allow people to get to that point where they can get me angry. So I literally walk myself away from people because I believe that the best thing to do is don't always be in the defense. Don't always think that it's about you. Don't always think that people are always trying to put you down because of what you did. I don't give a shit about what you did. Your past is your past. Your past does not define you now. And it does not, and it will not mold you for your future. You are solely responsible for your own happiness. No one else is. And I keep emphasizing that. Only you are responsible for your happiness. Is there happiness? According to Buddha, there is no such thing as happiness. There are happy moments. One happy moment can last you 20 years, 30 years, 40 years can be a happy moment. Universal law, what we believe it takes years to the universal law, it can take seconds. Whether it be universal law, whether it be God's law, whether it be the stars, whether it be, everything is interconnected. So therefore, with that being said, again, keep yourself focused on the prize. What is the prize? You. The prize is not someone else. Do not give 110% of yourself and accept 40%. Do not do that. And many people do that. How are you expecting to manifest anything in life if you don't know how to love yourself unconditionally? How? Life is filled with people who are lucky. But I've learned along the years that people that have been lucky, winning lottery tickets and winning in the casinos and doing this, they're generally good people, and they're very happy people, very happy and very outgoing. I'm not one of those people. I'm outgoing and I'm very social face to face. But I'm also very straightforward, and I am very meticulous when I want to tell you something, or when I want you to know something. Not only will I tell you what Spirit is telling me, I will give you a solution. Why? Because universal law. The universal law ethically gives me the ability to have learned in the past and still learn. And I'm still given the ability to learn new things so that I can always come up with a solution for you to better you. When I tell people, go to church and pray, you need God in your life, I'm not saying it to be sarcastic. I'm telling you that there is something missing. In this case, it may be God. If Spirit guides me and says, well, this person needs to learn about crystals, then I will be a willing volunteer to teach you about what you need to know. But I don't proclaim to be something that I'm not. I am a human being, and I have flaws just like everyone else does. I have just learned to curb my flaws, and I have learned that the flaws that I have within me have been a learned behavior of not just being taught, but also watching my whole life, watching people do it over and over and thinking that it is the right thing, when in reality it is not. So since my first awakening, as you all may notice, that since the epidemic started, there have been many moons that we have not had in hundreds of years. Many beautiful, beautiful surprises that the world and the universe is giving us. But there's also a lot of strange things happening. We have to learn from every experience. We have to look at everything and not be so critical and judgmental and try to assume that we know everything, because people who walk around thinking they know everything know nothing. And if they know something, it's nothing that's really important to you or to me or to anyone except themselves. But in order for you to find total peace of mind, spirit in your mind, find love in your heart, find tranquility in your mind, you're not going to be able to manifest. The mind has to be quiet. The heart has to feel love. The body has to feel like it's being nurtured, whether it be going to the gym or walking or doing something. It has to feel like it's being nurtured. So you have to take care of the house that you live in, because the universe has a bank, but your house has a bank as well. So understand that the pulling effect of the law of attraction is not just about money. It's also about bringing things and unifying things and connecting things, like connect the blocks, to be able to connect one adventure, one story, one evolution, connect it to something else and make it greater. Either as equal or greater than. And that is why people say that karma, karma hits you back either equally or greater. It's never less. It's always equally or greater. So my friends out there, remember the precepts that I have explained to you, although they have some religious connotations, they don't naturally or normally come from any religious thing. Envy is just the way the world is. There's a lot of people out there that don't want to have what you have. They want to be you. I think that those type of people are very dangerous. There are people who will lie on you because they want to remove you from where you are at so that they can take your spot. I find that to be dangerous, but I also find them to be very sad people. There are people who forget all the things that they have done, whether it be mothers or fathers. They kind of get amnesia after a certain age and they forget all the shit they've done. And then if they make it about you, when in reality it's about them. When you address them, it's always about you. It's never about them. They don't know and they haven't learned what it is to take ownership of their own bullshit. So my thing is, sometimes you have to see, thank you, Kathy. Sometimes you have to see things for what they are, but get yourself on your manifestation mode. Forget about those people that have hurt you. Forget about those people that have taunted you. Forget about those people that told you that you would never succeed, that laughed at you, that made you feel less than them. And ask the universe to put some joy in their life, because obviously if they are so concerned about your life and what you're not going to do in your life and how you're not going to succeed in your life, obviously they have too much time on their hands that they're thinking about you. So instead of getting upset about it, don't get upset about it. Instead of feeling, some people say, oh, well, you know, I feel blessed that that person is so interested in me. Don't always feel so blessed, because sometimes your best friend can become your worst enemy. Sometimes your own family can turn their backs on you. And at the end of the day, it'll leave you upset and crying. Then there's no reason to cry over spilled milk, because that's what it is. It's spilled milk. You guys are a joy, and I enjoy talking to you every Monday, because Monday is the beginning of the new week. So to me, it's like a holy day. To me, Monday is like a Sunday. It's the beginning of the week. And I always, even when I worked, I loved Mondays, because Mondays always went by fast because there's always a lot to do. But I want to thank you guys for supporting me. I want to thank you all for watching the show. I want to thank you all for supporting Food Alchemy. I want to thank Dr. D for her help and her kindness and her generosity. I want to thank everyone that is always around. I would like for all of you to please subscribe to the Food Alchemy Network. It's very important. And subscribe to us. For people who know me know that I am a reader. So the numbers for you to call me on is there. And I will leave you with this thought, because it'll one more minute and it's over. I would want to leave you with this thought. When you wake up in the morning, sit at your bed before you get up and take a deep breath and hold it for 10 seconds, count, and then release it. And make it your business to tell God, your spirits, angels, and guides. You don't have to say it out loud in your mind. And let them know that you live in gratitude every day for everything that they have provided yesterday and what they will provide today. I leave you with that. Namaste. Love and light always. Peace and blessings. Now we go to commercial.